Why are stories so powerful in public speaking? We're told that storytelling is where the power lies in a speech. And it's so true. If somebody gets up and tells us something and it goes against the way we think, goes against our belief system, we are immediately resentful. I can recall one time a person who thought they were very good at being able to sway the audience. This was a minister of religion. Now, I'm not a churchgoer, but I was subject to this position where I was along at this church gathering. And a very high person in the church got up and started to give this presentation. And first of all, I thought, I'm agreeing with this man. But actually, he was damning with faint praise. And then he swung around to what he really thought. But he never told a story. And I thought, here's a person who thinks he's actually convinced me, perhaps, in the audience, that to his way of thinking. Not at all. I just analysed his structure, the way he tried to persuade me, and I hadn't changed a bit. Had he told a story, it might have been different. You see, a story doesn't go directly against the viewpoint of someone listening in the audience. It's just a story. They go along and they listen. But the subtleties of that story might be such that they change the way the person thinks marginally, just marginally. It's the thin edge of the wedge. They might have been really against something, but when they heard the story and they went along with the hero, and the hero didn't actually state emphatically that what the audience member was listening to was wrong, but possibly wrong. Possibly he'd been mistaken. That's the thin edge of the wedge. You can't get angry with a story. You know it's fiction. Assuming it's a fiction story. You know it's fiction. You know you're just being told to be entertained. But the message within the story can be so subtle that the persons in the audience are not the least bit offended. They don't realise that they're gradually being swayed away from their beliefs. Just one story can do it. A series of stories told over a longer period of time will do it even more. But just one story, well told, which gets to the emotions of the listener, could well change their life, could well change a belief held for years. Just that little crack, that little crumbling of the ego, their belief in what they thought was true is now being undermined. Story can do that. Become a good storyteller. This is where the power lies.